Hold on to your ground. There's a reason you're here, and there's a reason that you were chosen. Learn your lesson fast. Believe in yourself. I think you are going to be your best cheerleader. It's okay even if you don't fit in. There is always a place for you there, and you can make your place.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Portraits of Strength. I'm your host, Harry, the Anecdotist. On today's episode, we're going to shed light on a trailblazer who hits a trifecta: a young leader, a woman in tech, and a woman of color. Sai Mounika Potti is a director of product and test engineering at Texas Instruments in Lehi, Utah. You know, rising up to the role of a director in a male-dominated industry like semiconductor manufacturing at a young age is no small feat. But Mounika has done it, all the while navigating life as a mother to a young toddler, which shows us that resilience and balance, what they look like for us. What makes the story even more remarkable is that Mounika, beyond corporate life and semiconductor industry, she's a dancer, garnering a growing following online because of her creativity and joy, reminding us that strength also comes in, embracing all your passions that make us whole. So let's dive into the conversations about breaking barriers, leading with courage, balancing motherhood and career, and as well as finding joy in movement. It's my immense pleasure to welcome my dear friend Mounika on today's episode. Hi Mounika, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey Harita, thanks for having me over. It's actually a pleasure to sit here with you. Even you're very inspirational.
Oh, thank you.
Being a mom and being a single parent, and with whatever you've achieved. Since I've even known you, when I moved to Utah, I've always actually looked up to you, and I've always been pleasantly surprised with everything you do. So
thank you so much.
Thanks for having me over, and I hope we can have a great conversation.
Yes,
today.
I'm actually looking forward to this conversation. So let's dive in. Tell me about your childhood, like where you grew up, what your education was, how you were as a child. Mm-hmm. Tell me.
No, so I started off, I was born in India, and then I'm a single child, so I get all the pampering from both my mom and dad. But that's never been in a bad way. Mm-hmm. But it's helped me grow. And throughout my childhood, I traveled a lot. Mm-hmm. So though I was born in India, I did my elementary school in Arizona, Phoenix.
Okay.
And then I was here for around 4-5 years. And then my dad decided to move, and then I moved to United Kingdom. And I was there for a few years. I moved back to India and then back to London again, and I was there.
Wow. A lot of globe trotting.
A lot of movement. And it sounds very fancy, but to be frank, it wasn't. As a kid, I think I struggled a lot in the sense of trying to fit in. Mm-hmm. I'll be here at one certain place, I'll make friends, and then all of a sudden, my dad's like, oh, we're moving again. Mm-hmm. And then it's like a restart. And back then, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, there wasn't really a lot of awareness as well in terms of being a person of color outside of India.
Right.
And even the places where I was in, I would probably be the only Indian in school.
Right.
And just navigating that was hard. And Another thing from childhood that was really something that's been inspirational for me is just my dad. He came from a small town in Andhra Pradesh called Mangalgiri. I think it's famous for its Mangalgiri cotton.
Yes.
And he's from like a joint family of 5 of them, and he's the only one who's kind of actually come out from that joint family and grew up outside of India.
Oh, okay.
And he is the eldest, so everyone looks up to him. And for me specifically, like looking up to him is after I was born, he decided that, hey, I want to go and I want to do my master's. And he went to IIT Madras and he studied there. And then me and my mom were in Mangalgiri. And just seeing him that passionate, I think that also kind of helped me to be who I am now, to see that, hey, you can set high goals in life and you can work hard and you can make them happen,
Right.
So, so I think like just seeing my dad and kind of moving all around, that's something that has made me who I am now. And even like when you said in this tech industry, right? I've always kind of said to myself that it's okay even if you don't fit in. There is always a place for you there, and you can make your place. It's like you can define what it needs to be. You don't need to go and be another person. People are going to value for who you are. You don't need to change who you are.
Yeah. That's nice. So when did you move to Utah? And where were you? Did you work anywhere else other than in Utah?
No, so through this whole jumping around, I actually went back to India. I did my bachelor's in India.
Okay.
And then I went to Singapore for my master's. And I started my career in Singapore, in Micron, Singapore. And then got internally transferred to Utah. Me and my husband, we knew each other from India in our bachelor's, and we were in this long distance. And it was like, hey, one of us need to make the move, right? And then there was this opportunity to move to Utah. I was just looking online. I was like, okay, what do? I want to move to the States. That's, we're on this long distance. We need to make this happen. And then it was either I come and do another master's, or it's like, hey, can I get internally transferred? And then in 2016, I applied for a reliability engineering role here. It was back then, it was a joint venture, Intel and Micron joint venture. And I moved from Micron to the joint venture here in 2016.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I've been in the semiconductor industry, so I know how male-dominated the field is. And added to that, as I said, being a woman of color in a male-dominated industry is not easy. So what were some of the unique challenges that you faced in your career? Let's say actually after you came to Utah, because that woman of color kind of comes into play a lot more here in US than I would consider that it would play in Singapore.
Yeah.
So tell me about some challenges or biases that you had to face and how you navigated them.
Right. No, it is a starking difference. When I was in Singapore, I think the woman to men ratio there was almost equivalent. And when I joined as a young engineer in Singapore, my manager was a woman.
Okay.
And that was nice to see that, hey, there is opportunity. And as young engineers, you would try to look up to, hey, are there other women in this leadership roles?
Somebody
right?
like us.
Yeah. And somewhere like I read this book called Lean In. I don't know if you've read it.
Yeah.
Where she actually says in that saying that at some point, we as an industry and we as an economy and society, we need to stop saying female leaders, and it's all just leaders.
Yeah.
Right? we're still not there. Nowhere there.
Nowhere there,
right?
nowhere close.
Nowhere
right?
close. And then when I first moved to Utah, I was surprised with the the number of women there and in tech industry, and even just joining I Am Flash back then. It was hard. I would be in meeting rooms where I would probably be the only woman.
Yeah.
And it's a meeting of 10, 20 people, and you're the only woman.
Yeah.
And you're trying to voice out, right? And you're trying to make sure your opinions are heard.
Right.
But I think I've always also grown up as never be shy. And if hold on to your ground, right? And a few things that I've believed in is you're putting in the hard work. You know that you are equivalent, right? There is nothing that can stop you from saying that, hey, I'm not good enough for this position here. There's a reason you're there. So believing in yourself and never being shy with whatever data you have. Like even if I'm in a meeting where I have to present something and I'm trying to make my point, I go with the facts. I go with what I've pulled, the data I've pulled, or the knowledge that I have, instead of being like, hey, that person is maybe a white male who is 10 years older than me and has more experience. That shouldn't hold you back. So that's one thing that was, it just comes with time and experience. And I think it's just constantly you reassuring yourself. And there are also experiences, like one experience that I had at work was, this was during my pregnancy. And I had one particular supervisor back then who was like, oh, you're going to go on a vacation soon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at that point, I was like, vacation? Like, are you sure what you're talking about?
Yeah.
You know, and then he kind of brushed it out, saying that, you know, it was just a funny comment. But those are the instances where you don't let those funny comments pass through. I think what matters most is, even if it's funny from the other person, you stand to your values.
Stand up to it.
Yeah, stand up to it. And I was like, hey, can you explain to me, why do you think it's a vacation?
Yeah.
You know, and it's surprising that people still see it that way.
I know, yeah.
Right?
It's very surprising, especially when you have those conversations with people, right?
Yeah, and back when I had Radhya, work from home was not a concept as well.
Yeah.
And I had a tough pregnancy as such. I mean, even amongst my friends, I was one of the first ones to become a mom. So it wasn't like I had like a history or a mom friend I could actually talk through about pregnancy. And it was me and my husband just figuring it out.
Yeah.
And staying away from India, or like my parents right now, they live in Japan, and not having them close to you, it gets even harder because nobody is telling you what is right, what is wrong. And I had gestational diabetes. And that added on more. Going to work, I had to like poke myself 3 times in a day, you know, and you have meetings that don't wait for you, right? And you're still trying to take breaks. You're still trying to, from a career standpoint, meet the goals. And but at the same time, you're balancing it. All that is hard, and I still feel that it is not fully open in the, you know, even in the 21st century that we're in.
Yeah.
It is not an open topic where people are openly acknowledging it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a sad reality.
It's a sad reality.
Yeah.
But I think within that sad reality, it's like finding, how do you balance it? Finding who your constants are. And don't be shy from leveraging people, right? And you're not alone in a journey. And without help, you're never going to make it. So if it's like, whether it's your friends or whether it's your husband or your parents, don't feel like you don't want to ask for help.
Yeah.
And
use your support system.
Yeah, use your support system. And I think, fortunately, both from my side and even Naren's side, his parents, we've always had that support and help. So that's helped to balance. And yeah, it's not like you're alone in it and you have to just do it by yourself.
You know, what's surprising that in this conversation that I find is typically, you know, a large, like research shows that a large portion, I think about 80 to 90% of the women feel this imposter syndrome a lot. What I find refreshing in this conversation so far is that I don't see that in you. But I want to talk, I'll dive in a little bit deeper. Is it something that you still feel? And if you do feel, it's not showing out in the way that you're talking.
Right.
So how are you countering that?
No. I mean, imposter syndrome, that's a word I battle every day.
Okay.
And it's interesting that you bring it up, because when I first got this director job, it's been a year now. And my fellow directors, they're all men. I was the first woman director. And like you said, of color and age.
And age, yeah, you're young.
Ageism is a big thing, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And just coming in, I was battling imposter syndrome every day, even now. And one thing that really struck me is I had a peer. I used to meet with him almost every other week, mainly trying to get mentorship. But also, he is a person who is actively in our women's employee resource group. And
So he was an ally.
Yeah, he was an ally and a safe space,
Okay.
you know. And I used to have these conversations with him saying, hey, I feel this. I feel like maybe I'm into this role too early. Maybe I need 5 or 10 years more. And he said this to me saying, hey, Monica, there's a reason you're here. And there's a reason that you were chosen.
Yeah.
And you need to stand up to it, in the sense that whenever you feel like you're running into this imposter syndrome or you're running into this, I'm not good enough, remind yourself that I am here because I was chosen to be here and I'm the right fit to be here. Is it going to be a journey? Yes. Right? Overnight, is my whole department going to believe in me, saying that, hey, you're the right person for me? No, it's not going to be that way. But it's like, who's in the ship with you, right? Or who is going to be that anchor that's going to hold you down? Figuring that along the way and sticking to your principles and sticking to the why behind why was I chosen, and not changing yourself, right? That gets important.
Yeah.
I struggle every day, not just about, hey, am I a good enough director? But even in multiple hats that I wear. Am I a good enough wife? Am I a good enough mom? Am I a good enough friend? Am I a good enough daughter? You know, all those, I question it every day, right? With the hustle in life that we have, and especially for women who are trying to balance career, and I have a young toddler, it's hard. And sometimes once someone told me this, again, at work, I have these therapy sessions where they give you professional help, which I think is another topic we should talk about.
For sure, yeah.
But he specifically told me, hey, Monica, you need to wear your oxygen mask first before you can put it on for everyone else, you know. And it's true. I think there are days where if you feel like you're exhausted, it's overwhelming, you focus on yourself, get yourself back up, and then you can make it at that point. Right? I may come across like, hey, I'm this confident woman, but not really. I think there is that guard that you put, right?
For sure.
And everyone does that. But I'm also not shy to say that every other day or every other week I break down. And that's normal. And I think as women, we are more emotional, you know. And
it's our strength.
It's our strength, exactly. And it's okay. It's okay to say that it's hard and you are working on it as a journey and you're taking it one step at a time.
That's amazing. Who would you say is your inspiration? I know you talked about your dad, where you get that drive by seeing him go behind his passion. But other than your dad, do you have any other person, living or dead or fictional, whatever it is, right, who inspires you to give your best every day?
I would say it's not one person.
Okay.
I think throughout my life, I've picked up on different incidents and different people that have taught you a lesson or that have inspired you in a certain way. And there are multiple as such. And I know you said fictional, right? Even fictional, like I'm a big Harry Potter fanatic, you know that, right?
Yeah.
And we share that in common.
For sure.
Like I remember reading that as a kid, and I think 5 years ago I reread it again, and I was surprised when I reread it again on everything that I saw differently.
Yeah, like
That you wouldn't pay attention to when you were
your
a kid.
situation in life makes you see it differently, right?
Yeah. Like even characters like Luna Lovegood, where I think she talks about just through life how there's a way for things to come back to you.
Oh yeah.
And that's so true. Like you could be a certain day, you could be like, hey, I suck, I'm in failure, and life has a way to bring it back. And another one was Molly, and especially the one particular thing that stuck to me was like, not my daughter, you.
Yeah. At the last, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's me. Like if somebody is coming against my daughter, or as a mom, you just put it up. And I think when I was a kid, I didn't really understand motherhood.
Yeah.
Right. So I think there are different things, like whether it's fictional that add on, and even Hermione, right, like where she says that hey, you have emotions in the scale of a teaspoon or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. And that shows that women are emotional, like I said, and things that you learn. So Harry Potter was something that I keep rereading. I think I'm due to read it again.
Sure.
Another incident that has happened in my life that has stuck to me is during my master's in Singapore. That was actually the first time I actually came out of this bubble of me, my mom, and the three of us.
Oh.
We were very close knit because of traveling so much.
Yeah.
So I was never like cousins. Like, yes, I used to meet cousins once in a few years, but I never had this, hey, this is my best friend cousin. Even friends, I made friends, and then I moved places again. I'm making new friends. But I did leverage on friends quite a bit. But to me, my world was my mom and dad.
So like you're emotionally, you were not being attached to any other friend.
Yeah, so
because of constant travel.
And they were always there. It was that safe space.
Right.
And then when I first moved to Singapore is when I kind of broke that bubble. And I'm like alone to myself. Felt like, yes, I have freedom now.
Sure.
But it also taught me a lot where, like I said, sometimes people teach lessons.
Sure.
So there were a lot of friendship breakups, I would say, that taught me a lesson. But one of the biggest life turning thing that I faced was I lost a best friend through a car accident.
Oh man.
And
Sad.
it was hard.
It was really sad. Yeah. I'm sure.
It was, so one fine day, I'm at work. So we did our masters together, and then I'm at work. And then one of our friends in a common WhatsApp group, they messaged saying that, hey guys, it's a sad day that we lost. So there were actually two people in our friendship, in our group, two people who we lost.
Oh.
One of them was a really good best friend of mine. And I get a message. I'm like, is this a practical joke, or like what is happening? Like, I didn't buy it, And then it was real. And what happened was, it was a car accident. 5 of them, they were on their way back from Malaysia to Singapore. And after attending a friend's wedding, and all 5 of them were gone.
Oh.
And that's when I I truly felt in terms of like we get stuck into day-to-day life, small things where you don't appreciate them enough, and there is this overpowering energy above you that you don't have control over. And losing that friend was hard for all of us.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And I wasn't prepared. They never prepare you for
Yeah.
death, right?
Yeah. Nothing in life ever.
Nothing in life ever prepares you for that. And going through that, I think I learned it was a lesson, not exactly a lesson, but something where I'm like, be in the present, enjoy your present. You're never gonna have control over tomorrow, you know. And it's okay. It's okay where sometimes you're stuck in the past, or sometimes you're like worried about the future. But there are, however good you try to make it, however hard you're trying, life happens, you know. So that was another big incident in life that still is stuck in my head.
I'm sure.
And then more inspirational people, my maths teacher.
In
In
school or
school.
Okay.
And I was in India.
Okay.
So there was this brief period, I think, from 7th grade to 9th grade, I was in India. And again, I'm constantly trying to fit in, right? I came back from United Kingdom, and now I'm here in India and trying to fit in there. And we were in this apartment, and she used to live downstairs. They're this old couple, and she was retired, but she used to take some maths classes.
Okay.
And she was very inspirational, like in the sense that whenever I used to go to her home, there used to be this background music. I don't know, in Chennai especially, like she was from a Brahmin family.
So
classical music, and
classical
then
Indian Carnatic music.
Carnatic music, and it's around 6:30 in the evening. I still remember it is when my class is. So she used to be always this person where she lights up a diya at 6 in the evening. And a lot of times I'm early for some reason, I don't know. And I used to be a part of that prayer.
Nice.
And I still remember I used to every day get crap about not wearing a bindi. Because she used to like give me vibhuti, and she'll be like, you're not wearing your bindi, and then she'll make me. And those small things now, back then I was like, why is she like this? And now if I think of it, it's like just those small nice things.
Like shows their love for you.
Shows their love for you.
Yeah.
It is not that, hey, do you believe in God or do you believe in traditions? But it's a way of how they show love towards you.
Yeah.
And right now in this world, and I want to figure out how I'm going to do this with my little one, is the amount of respect that you have for your teachers, you know, has changed so much.
Totally.
In the past
I agree.
several decades and generations. And it's both ways. I think back then, naturally, the teachers used to be in a way that you gain respect for them. Now I don't know. Right? It's like people in their day-to-day life, and it's more like what you're taught culturally as well. Has it become a business model? Hey, I'm paying you, so you owe me. Or is it more like, hey, you are my guru, you know?
I think it's that concept of guru, right?
Yeah.
I think that is, I see what you're saying. And not everything that we had as teachers were perfect or not, but it's also like there are certain things that were really good. Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah.
And I think few things I picked up, at least from her, was the discipline piece. I think if you're not disciplined in life, and discipline is a controversial word, right? Like in the sense that you can define what discipline means.
So that's a good segue. So like, what is discipline to you, or in what way do you see yourself implement discipline in your career or life or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is you sitting and figuring out what does discipline to you mean. Like a discipline, something that I say this is discipline to me may not be for you.
True,
you
because
know.
it's a huge range.
It's a huge range, and it is figuring out what are the 3 or 4 or 5 things that are important for you and sticking to it.
Okay.
And that's how I see it, is whether it is at work or whether I'm at home or whether, like you said, dance. I always think of it as when I'm there and when I'm in that thing, I'm going to try to give it my 150%. And then rest is, up to the energies that you don't have control over.
Okay.
Because you never can control.
Yeah, not everything is.
Not everything is like, even to my team, I tell them, like, if there are people that come in and they're like, hey, this is happening, that is happening, I'm like, let's pause, let's focus on what we have control over and how that will make an impact than what we don't have control over. If we focus too much of our energy into what we don't have control over, then it's going to be hard. And that's what I've learned. I learned from my teacher, where as a kid, I was struggling in the sense of, hey, I am new. The way I've been learned, like back in United Kingdom, how maths was to how it is in India is quite different.
Yeah.
And I used to be hung up over things that were beyond my control. And what my teacher really helped me on was focus on this one problem that you're trying to solve. Forget about, hey, I'm not getting algebra. Focus on geometry today, and worry about that later. So that's something that I constantly, I'm not good at it even now. I still, think about all the 100 problems that can exist. And woman, and I'm an overthinker, is, something I battle, but it's give what you can. And then be genuine in it.
Okay.
Right. So that's what, and the moment you figure out that this is going against your values or this is going against you being disciplined, don't, find your exit from there. Find it fast.
That's nice. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, because whether it is people, whether it's friends, or whether it's a hobby you're trying out and you're like, oh, I don't think I like this anymore. It's okay to give up on it and try something else that you believe will take you to where you want to go, right? I always learn your lesson fast.
Okay.
And don't stay on it long. Right?
Especially if you're not enjoying it.
Yeah. And I say this, but I'm not that good at it as well. But I say it,
But at least you're learning or trying to implement it, right? Yeah. You said you love, literally you're living every day and in the moment and giving your 150% to it. Does that mean you're not a planner? Or are you a planner? Or what is your personality over there?
No, I used to be a very good planner. I think life happens where now it's become more of how am I surviving the day.
Okay.
And it's not good to say I'm surviving the day. I feel like...
But I think, but that's the life when you are a mom of a toddler, right?
Yeah. I mean, my days start so early. Like, I'm getting up at 5 or 5:30 in the morning so that I can pack her lunch. And then a lot of days, I have to be at work by 6:30 or 7 in the morning. And I'm so glad to have a husband that I have, that he's been a great support system for me. I think that I won't be able to do what I am doing without him. And somewhere I was, I think some podcast or somewhere I was reading, it's like a couple is never going to be a 50-50. It's going to be like there are days where you have to be 150 and there are days where you're going to be even just 10%. So that's, I think, something that's helped me. And planning, I plan when it is necessary.
Okay.
That's what I would say. And I also, along the way, have learned that you can't always plan it. you need to leverage on people to plan it.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you direct those people to plan it the right way? So, yeah, I think I used to be a really good planner. Like even when I used to travel a lot. That's something I miss now. And I used to have these Excel sheets of every day, what is the itinerary, what is the place we're going to eat, what is the budget around it. Now I'm just showing up on a vacation. So I definitely think that I'm not great at planning now. But I think it's just navigating life. And when you can find time to plan, I still believe in planning. But right now I'm just going by the day.
There's this buzzword that's like thrown around so much about work-life balance. What do you think about that?
I think the only way to get around it, if you're again a controversial term, career-focused woman, don't want to say that, but if career is something that's important for you, you need to make work a part of your life. There is nothing called work-life balance. There's nothing called I'm at an 8 to 5 job. It is more of how do you make that job a part of your work, part of your life routine. Even though right now I'm out of work, right? But I'm constantly thinking about work.
I'm sure.
I was telling this to one of my managers. I just hired a new manager. She's new into the role. And I was telling her just the other day that the amount I think about every single person in the team is nowhere close to what they would even probably think about me. Like I'm constantly thinking about, okay, what is good for this person? What is good for that person? I treat work and my team and my department more like my family. Like how I am trying to look out for Radhya, saying this is what is going to be good for Radhya. This is what is good for her future. That's why I think of my team on what is going to be good for my team. How are they going to progress? How am I going to progress this team ahead? So embracing work as a part of life gets important. And but there are going to be days where you feel like you need that break from work as well. I'm definitely not good at it on those days where I'm like, I'm done with work. I need a break. There are days I come home and I tell Naren, I think I want to quit. And he'll be like, pause, breathe. You're just telling me this today, but if you take 2 days off of work, you'll be like, oh, what do I need to do? And I'm bored, kind of a thing. So until and unless you make work as a part of your life, you're not going to be able to enjoy work. And work-life balance is what you deal with day to day. If there is a day that my daughter needs me and she has something at school and you showing up for her is most important, you prioritize that day. So there are days you would prioritize life and there are days you would prioritize work. If my factory is lying down and you need to be there nights, you'll be there nights. You have a support system that you've built who can take care of home. When you need to be there for your family, you be there for your family.
Yeah.
That's what I say is work-life balance.
So you'll say more like work-life integration and not a balance.
Yeah, it's more of an integration of work, life, your hobbies, everything. Then you will get peace. Otherwise, I feel you're never you're going to constantly try to figure out what does the balance look like.
That's a great way to look at it for sure.
Yeah.
So tell me, what is it that drives you? Like you've achieved, you've come up to being a director at a young age. You have a loving family. But what is that internal why that drives you?
That's a hard question. The internal why that drives me. I think figuring out the why is hard. And I still think I've not figured it out.
Okay.
I there are days where I'm like, this is why I exist. And there are days where I'm like, why do I exist?
Sure.
You know,
I think that existential crisis comes up every now and then.
yeah. And what really I think drives me is if I feel like I am moving, I am achieving. I am a person where I need a fast-paced life. How much ever I crib about it, I think
You thrive in the speed.
I thrive in the speed. One of my friend was telling me that, hey, you're trying to live a Californian life in Utah. And I'm like, it's not that I'm trying to live a Californian life in Utah. It is just how I am intrinsically built, that I just need that hustle. And that hustle for the day may feel like I didn't really do anything today. I'm just moving from here to here. But every 6 months or every year, just pause and think about, hey, what did I move? Like whether it's from work or whether it's at home, like what did I accomplish in that 6 months? And if you even have 2 things to say to yourself, I think that itself feels like success. So I would say that what drives me every day is how do I work towards, like, I mean, whether it's at work, where am I inspiring another person, a girl, or whether it's at home, with respect to Radhya, how am I constantly trying to find what is the best for her? I think you're always, as a parent, you're constantly trying to find.
It's always at the back of your mind. It never stops.
It never stops.
Yeah.
And even if you see your kid fail, or even if like, there is this quote in Telugu, they say that kaki pillaki kaki muntu.
Yeah.
I believe in it,
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
and I think even my parents believed in me in that way. What drives me is those small things, and not just monetary stuff, like, hey, how much am I earning? Not that, but I think it's those small impact that you make in people's life. Like, couple weeks ago, my dad was like, hey, Monica, like, he never calls me Monica, actually. He'll be like either Bangari or, something like that. And he was like, we're proud of you. And just hearing that statement feels like, oh, okay, this, I've
Full validation.
Full validation.
Yeah.
I think getting that validation from the people who matter, I think that's what I thrive for. The validation from my team, from my daughter, from my husband, from my parents, from my friends. That's what drives me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who would you say is your source of strength?
Source of strength. I don't think there is one person. And I always feel like I'm trying to find that source of strength within myself. And I think it is important for everyone to acknowledge that. One thing that I really like, an analogy standpoint, is a duck, right? Where they're like constantly paddling under the water.
Yeah.
And then from top you see the duck is so calm, right? I think that's how I see myself. And even most people, I would say. If I ask you that question, what would you say?
I think for me, my source of inspiration is Purvi. Because the reason it's the source of inspiration or the drive for me is because I want to show her that you can achieve whatever you want. And the only way that I believe I can show her that is by example.
Yeah. It's very true.
That's literally what it comes down to.
No, it is.
For me.
Yeah. It is like leading through example. Right.
Yeah.
And and it scares me, like, even when I think of like Radhya, and I'm like, am I setting a good example? Is she seeing what, she can be capable of once, that she can break boundaries? especially in this society, right? Like we think that we're in this 21st century and things have changed. It's not true. To be frank, I still have, I'm not going to take names, but I still have friends where like women are seen as they're meant to be at home.
Take care of kids and take care of home.
And take care of their husband, a grown ass man.
Yep.
Sorry for the language. But like I've seen friends where they go give a glass of water, they go and grab their shoes for the husband at this age in life. You don't think the grown ass man can go and grab a glass of water
For himself.
for himself, right? And what example are you setting for your kids and family?
Yeah.
And that's what I strive for every day, is between myself and from Naren, what does Radia see in us, right? And even at work, like, am I setting an example that the newer engineers can actually go and make things happen? Like, I had to hire a section head in my team, and she was very young and lesser years of experience but high potential. Like you can see she's a driver. And I had an option where I was going through the interview process. I was thinking of another person who has more experience, more number of years and all of that. And then I go to my boss and I ask him, what do you think I should do? And he was like, Monica, just like how we believed in you, you need to believe in and give a chance, you know. So I think the more examples you set and the more opportunity you give, that's where people are going to see that, hey, I can do it too. If she can do it, I can do it too. So that's what I, even at home with respect to Radhya or at work with younger engineers, even at dance, I feel like I spend a lot of time at dance. One is for my own personal self, but two is also like, hey, break the cliche that if you're a mom and you have a work that is very demanding, you can't go and dance. No, break that. And run after opportunities. Like recently I've started like moving into trying to get into hip hop and stuff like that. Like go and don't let anyone hold you back. I know we spoke about teachers and stuff like that. Even in real life, if there's a teacher or your boss at work is holding you back from growing, that is your like,
It's your time to move on.
it's your time. It's your reality check. It's like red flag. Know that this person is holding me back. Not for you, respectfully. Move on and seek that strength in yourself.
Nice. How would you describe your leadership style? What's your leadership style? And how would you say motherhood has shaped it for you?
No, it has. I think that so there is this. Have you heard of this thing called DISC profile? You might have.
Yep.
So there's this thing called so D stands for dominant, I is more like influential, and then S is steady and C is conscientious. So I took this when I was a early leader, where I had a small team, and when I took that, I was heavy around the D. And it was because of how I was as a person, very direct. I was very low on the I side of things, because I would go, get to the point, not this very social person. I won't go and have a 10-minute long talk about how was your day and then...
To the point.
Yeah, to the point. That's how I was. And I was very much focused on results and focused on business and focused on that. I think what motherhood actually helped me is gain a new perspective of you need to help the team and grow the team and make them achieve success. So right now what I really believe in is investing time in the team, helping them figure out decisions and helping them get into the space of extreme ownership. It's not, I would say I'm a successful leader is when I see my team work or a person in the team grow and they're achieving results and they're not saying, I did this because my manager said so. But they did it because they believed in it so. So I constantly thrive in how do I have the bigger picture, how do I help the team find that bigger picture. And there is this big famous, in leadership styles, there are different leadership styles. There's also a thing where you need to figure out when do you have to fly high versus fly low. So you don't want to always fly high, where it will be like you are not involved enough and you're not there for the team enough.
Right.
And when the results happen, you're like, you celebrate it. But when they don't, you're like, oh, it's because of you.
Right.
Figure out the days where you need to fly low and you're in it with the team, and figure out the days when you have to step out and fly high and let the person go and deliver and achieve it. So that it's that balance of flying high and flying low. And be that I always believe in the analogy of the team. Like I feel like I'm the mom. Being a mom, right? And I'm like, if I do this for my child, is that going to be good for that child? The same way I see my team,
Right,
is seeing it as that being a parent, So that's mostly like my leadership style is heavy around that.
Sure. Yeah. So, as we were talking about earlier, many women, and I should say specifically Indian women, tend to have a lot of pressure around, choosing family, taking care of your kids over career. What helped you reject that framework or that notion?
No, I think, like I said, it is your values and your principles. I wouldn't even say that choosing your family and choosing your kids over your career is a wrong thing. I think it is a choice you make. And you need to make that choice on, is this what I want to do? Is this what defines me? And if the answer to that is yes, you go for that. So I truly respect women who choose to be, hey, I want to be at home and I want to focus on my kid. And I respect that. But if you choose that because of a social pressure, that is when I feel that's not acceptable. And for me, I think I made this choice just growing up and always having my parents give me this freedom of, you do what you believe you want to do. My dad is in IT. He was very pro that he wanted me to take computer science and to take IT. And I told him, hey, Dad, I've seen you in it. You're great at it. But what I believe in is electrical, and he saw that, and having that freedom, right, of making that choice, I think is important. And you're always going to be having to battle societal pressures.
Yeah.
And holding up to yourself and figuring out your circle, who your wavelengths match and your values match, that gets important. It does play a huge influence in your life.
Sure.
Like if you're always hanging around, like I would be very open if I hang around with like women, and no disrespect there, but women who are mostly at home and taking care of kids, I get into questioning of myself, am I a good enough mother? It's not because I'm not. It is because you're trying to compare yourself to
some others who are there with you. Yeah.
And I think you need to recognize that if that's happening, pull yourself out of it. Otherwise, you're always going to be like constantly trying to prove yourself. where it's not a match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
figuring out those situations where this person or this, whether it is family or whether it is friends or whoever it is, if they're along the same page as you from a value standpoint.
Yeah.
They say build your army. I wouldn't say build your army. I'd say build your small circle of your support
system. That's awesome. Clearly, I mean, I've seen you dance, and your dance profile is out there with social media presence and all of that. We can clearly see that it brings you joy. How does that help you in your life and kind of like give you the strength, or how has it played a role?
Yeah, I mean, I see it as my time. It's a way to de-stress myself and go and dance it out, The piece of social media, I want to be very open about it, that you need to navigate it with a good amount of open-mindedness.
Sure.
It is not for everyone. Even if you post something out there, it is yes, maybe there's a piece of it where you're trying to get validation from whomsoever, but a huge portion of it is for yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how I see it. I'm like, dance is something where I had like almost 3-4 years of a break. When I moved to Utah, I danced a lot. At work, just all these different social events and all that. And then I took a huge break getting into my pregnancy. I had a hard pregnancy. I had like a tailbone injury post-pregnancy. So I had to go through physical therapy and all of that. And then COVID hit.
Yeah.
We were all at home, right? And then the moment when I came back and having this opportunity to just get back into dance, that was quite refreshing. So I do enjoy that. Does a dance add stress? There are days dance adds stress too.
Okay.
It's not as rosy as it looks. But like I keep saying, it's figuring out if something adds stress, remove it from your life. And find an avenue where you can make it your strength than your stress builder, So,
do you see a parallel between dance and engineering?
Dance and engineering. I mean, definitely, right? I think I have always been not just dance, but if you know me personally, I'm very competitive. And I don't know if it's like a single kid syndrome or something like that. Even playing board games at home, I'm like constantly trying to win, and Naren and my family or friends will be like, hey, it's just a game, slow down. So I do take that parallelism, whether it's dance or at home or at being a mom or being a friend. I'm constantly thriving to, I want to be the best, But I think what gets a little toxic there, I know the word toxic is knowing when to stop. Knowing when to say that, no, this is good.
Okay. So dance, as everybody knows, it's a sign of self-expression. It's a way you express yourself, right? So what does self-expression mean to you as a professional? Like, for example, I know, at least 20 years ago or 10, 15 years ago, it was very frowned upon to have, like, as a professional, having something like a social media presence as a dancer or as a content creator or as something else. Yes, that is changing a lot in the last, I would say, 5 to 10 years. But in your opinion, has it given you challenges? Has it given you, or how do you navigate that? Or what does that self-expression mean to you as a professional in the tech industry?
No, it does. I think what has helped me is maybe it's an Indian thing versus, being here outside of India. if I was doing the same in India, where I was going to work and I still had this social media presence and dance, I think it comes across more as I am not a responsible person.
Yeah, yeah.
But here, my team, my managers, my peers, everyone know that I dance. They've even a lot of them even follow me on Instagram.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they see it as a hobby.
Oh, that's nice.
Like just like how, hey, I'm into photography and I have a page for that. I'm into skiing, and I have a page for that. I'm into travel, I'm into rock climbing. They see it that way. And I think that has helped me. Is my team at work, they know I dance. And I've even done a few dance sessions at work. And to them, it is more like I'm spending my time on my personal hobby. It is a stress, buster for me. And that has helped me navigate it.
Nice.
I still don't think I've navigated it fully. Like, a lot of times my parents don't understand it.
Sure.
And there are days sometimes even my husband doesn't understand it.
Sometimes it's the closest people to you who don't understand.
It, right? And I think it is that perception feeling and I've seen it hugely like in India versus here, where it makes a difference.
Yeah.
And I'm still able to keep up with it. So.
Okay. Let's switch a little bit. We'll go into rapid fire questions. Okay. What's your favorite book?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter series. What's your favorite song?
My favorite song. I know this is supposed to be rapid fire. I actually like all songs of Imagine Dragons. It sounds like, oh my God, like, are you a professional? Are you a director? But
hey, I love Imagine Dragons.
To me, sorry, I know this is rapid. I need to talk about this.
Sure.
It's another stress buster. Loud music of Imagine Dragons on my ride way back from work.
I can totally relate. I can totally relate.
Yeah.
Favorite quote?
Favorite quote? I think my favorite quote is, and my favorite quote keeps changing, but one quote that I'm like the past week or 2 weeks has been constantly in my thing is, you're always going to have a plate full. Never look for emptying your plate. Figure out what you need to eat first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Favorite movie?
I have always been a Shah Rukh Khan fan.
Ooh, yes. Which one then?
DDLJ.
DDLJ. Okay. What's your greatest fear?
I think my greatest fear still is life happening and losing people. I think I'm never prepared to lose people.
Okay. What's the most courageous thing you've ever done in life so far?
Courageous thing. I think it's underrated and every woman goes through it, is giving birth.
Okay. What's your philosophy of life?
Philosophy of life. Believe in yourself. I think you are going to be your best cheerleader. Nobody else is going to be that for you. Not your husband, not your kid, not your parents. It is you.
Okay. And then finally, as we come to the end of the episode, what is the one thing that you would give as an advice to our viewers of this podcast?
I think one thing I would say especially is I am a feminist. I know even today morning we were talking about it. And the word feminist is not fully understood by the society. It doesn't mean that I hate men.
Yeah.
It is mostly around how we as women need to, even in this 21st century, navigate through stuff, whether it is at work or whether it is at home, whether it's being a mom. But don't let that hold you back. I think you need to believe in yourself. Don't let other men hold you down. Don't let other women hold you down. I think a lot of times we as women don't believe in sisterhood that much. I think we need to
Build that.
Support that, and fight for yourself. That's what I would say.
That is an awesome and amazing advice for our viewers. And there you have it. So always believe in yourself. And thank you so much for such an amazing conversation. It was truly inspirational. Thank you.
Thanks, Harita.